Malaysia made me fall in love with dim sum. I used to hate dim sum. Hate it, okay? But when I was in Kuala Lumpur, my mind was completely changed and I fell in love with it. So I'm going to give you some context first and explain why I didn't like dim sum. Or maybe not why, but show you that I tried, okay? I really tried. And this is not a dim sum thing, this is the garbage they're selling in Canada thing. So the first time I had dim sum was in Vancouver, which is a very Asian city in Canada. Um, it is on the west coast and it's the closest Canadian city to Japan, China, Malaysia, all y'all. And it has a big Asian population. So there are a lot of dim sum places, a lot of Asian restaurants, and it's very popular there. So one of my friends decided to take me out to dim sum for my birthday. And this friend was actually like this cult leader. I don't know. It's not really relevant to this movie, to this video. Welcome to my movie. Yeah, so that's gonna be another video. I was part of a cult for like 10 years. I didn't realize it at the time. Anyways, this cult leader brought me to dim sum. Maybe that's why I hated the dim sum, because I knew I was eating it as part of a cult. Anyway, so this person, who will remain anonymous, cult leader, he brought me to, I don't remember the name of the place, but he assured me this is the best dim sum in the city because it's your birthday. Here's a treat. In retrospect, he's a pathological liar, so maybe it wasn't the best dim sum spot in Vancouver, but he claimed it was. I think I talked to other people who said it was. It looked fancy, you know. You say it was a really big ballroom, dressed up nice, and you sit at the round tables, and everyone who worked there was dressed in like a tuxedo with a bow tie, and the people with the tuxedo and the bow tie were walking around with the carts. And we went at the right time of day too. We went like before lunch, which I didn't know then is the right time to eat dim sum, but now I do. And he's like, okay, this one's good, this one's good, this one's good. And everything I tried, like, tasted like dog food, smelled like garbage. Um, I really tried. I was like maybe 20 years old at the time. So my taste buds had not developed fully. I was not as adventurous for sure, but I ate like sushi, you know, I liked sushi. So it's not like I was totally closed off to new cultural food or culinary differences. But we must have ordered or not ordered, but like pulled off the tray. All the best dim sum, and I think we even had bao, you know, and it was all really bad. I didn't like a single bite of it. I barely ate it. I tried every single piece, but it really tasted so bad. Like thinking about it makes my stomach turn. And I was like, okay, well, I went to the best dim sum place in Canada, arguably, right? So I must hate dim sum. So I went along with that assumption for years. Now I'm in Toronto, and I have a friend who likes some dim sum locally. A lot of people like dim sum in Toronto. Dim sum's really big. People generally like it. So I'm like, I'm going to give it another go. So someone brought me some shrimp dim sum. I think it was cooked from frozen, steamed from frozen. And it was nothing crazy. But I tried it and I was like, okay, this is okay. But there's still something about the dim sum. I was like, I don't know. Like this was better than the experience I had in Toronto. Maybe my taste had developed, but still didn't love it. Okay, still didn't love it. I was like, okay, I think I could say with confidence that I hate dim sum, and I was okay with it. I put it on my resume: hates dim sum, hire me, and I would apply at dim sum restaurants out of irony. Just kidding. So let's fast forward to my experience in Kuala Lumpur, KL for the cool kids. And we decided that we were going to go out for dim sum because I wanted to go out for dim sum. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be in Asia. Let's try some real dim sum. Okay. Especially, so I hadn't tried Asian food yet, but I'd left Canada. With these times of trying dim sum, I hadn't even left Canada yet. And so since then, I'd gone to Latin America and tried food there and realized it was better than Canada. So I was like, okay, maybe the food's just bad in Canada. And I keep hearing that KL has the best food, Malaysia has the best food in the world, and then that's what they're known for. And I've met so many people while I was in Malaysia, and it seems like food is their central source of pride. And I have to agree that it is the best food in the world so far. Okay. So I did get excited to try dim sum in Asia. And the best thing is, I was flying Cathay Pacific into Kuala Lumpur, and the layover was going to be in Hong Kong. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in Hong Kong. I want to try dim sum in Hong Kong because, like, I think Hong Kong is where, like, that's their specialty, dim sum. That's their thing. I'm not really cultured on the history of dim sum, but I had in my mind that that's the right place to try, right? So, unfortunately, when we did go, the Hong Kong airport was still, even though most of the world was not locked down anymore, the Hong Kong airport definitely was. We couldn't leave, and there wasn't really any food to be had. Definitely not any dim sum. So that was a bummer. So I was like, okay, this whole Hong Kong dim sum fantasy is not happening. So we're about, I think it was a week and a half in KL, and we decided, okay, we're going to go for dim sum. And I was assured by the locals, like, the dim sum here in KL is going to be better than Hong Kong. Trust me, everything's better in KL. And I was like, okay, okay. And I had some amazing food so far. And I was like, okay, well, I'm starting to believe it. Let's see if I really like dim sum. Because if I don't like it in Malaysia, then I probably don't like dim sum anywhere, right? So I don't remember the name of the dim sum restaurant, but we went to a very popular dim sum spot in Subang Jaya. And we went nice and early at like 9 a.m. to have it for breakfast, which I learned that that is the appropriate traditional time to have dim sum. It's like a breakfast food where here in the West, we don't think of it that way. We think of it as kind of like a dinner food, which I guess is ironic because I learned that you make the dumplings in the morning and like you have them while they're fresh. So at dinner, they're going to be old. Ha ha ha. Joke's on us, right? So I went to have my first true dim sum. And we probably ordered like one of everything on the menu. That's an exaggeration, but we sure ordered a lot of food. What did I think of it? I loved every single bite of this dim sum that I had. Wow. Not only did I love it, my mind was blown. I couldn't get enough of it. I don't know dim sum enough to explain exactly what I had, but I had dumplings and rolls and bao. I had some of everything. And we stuck to dim sum. We didn't have any other like salads or fried dishes, teppanyaki or anything like that. I don't know. I might be crossing cultures there, but we just stuck to dumplings and dumpling like things. And I loved every single thing I had. There was not a bite that I didn't enjoy, and my mind was blown. I was like, "Wow, this is what dumplings. This is what dim sum is really like. It's amazing." And I just wish that people back in Canada could taste this dim sum because if they're there eating that garbage and they're already loving dim sum, boy, they don't know what they're missing because this stuff is primo. This is the good dimmy dim dim dim. So I love dim sum now. I come back to Toronto, and a few weeks ago it was one of my good friends' birthdays. And we all decided to go out for dim sum for lunch. And everyone is like, oh, there's this place, I think it's called like Rosanna's or something, or Rosalind's or something like that. I don't need to get the name perfect because basically I'm going to be trolling their restaurant now. And I was so excited to have dim sum. I'm like, I've acquired the taste for it now. Maybe I just, my tongue has been blessed by the dim sum gods now. So now I could enjoy it finally. And so I go out for lunch with my friends, and two of them had been there before, and they're like, this is like the best dim sum you can get downtown Toronto. It is really good. And we ordered a bunch of food. I was so excited. And I go to pick up my first shrimp dumpling, and I plop it in my mouth, and it was garbage. It was complete and utter garbage. Ugh. Like, I couldn't even eat 90% of the food. That was a very expensive meal. We ordered a lot of food, and I couldn't eat almost any of it because it just tasted like garbage. I really miss the food in KL.